Welcome back. President Trump has signed an executive order aimed at eliminating federal funding for NPR and PBS stations nationwide. Our Lydia Herrera is in the studio here tonight with a closer look at how these cuts could affect our local PBS affiliate, KEDT, and the communities that it serves. Lydia?
Mike, for decades, not only have families across the coastal bend turned to KEDT for trusted educational programs like Sesame Street and Arthur, but also local news and emergency information. But with new federal funding cuts, the future of these shows and the station itself could be at risk. Senior Tristan Corvus grew up watching PBS shows and says it's hard to imagine kids missing out on the shows that shaped his childhood.
I really love watching all that stuff, and that's the type of stuff that, really cultivates love for learning, and that's something that this generation's kind of losing now, and that losing that PBS or defunding that wouldn't help at all, so that's really heartbreaking that could happen.
With federal cuts to public television being discussed, Don Dunlap, president and GM of KEDT, says 39% of the funding comes from federal dollars. Without it, he warns public media in the region could face a major impact.
6 out of the 10 to go off the air, and all in smaller rural areas here. So we just leave 4 in the major metropolitan areas.
Dunlap says KEDT reaches more than 492,000 children each week with 70 hours of educational programming from Victoria all the way to the Rio Grande Valley.
We've found out that through the years that children that watch that programming, when they join school, they are 7 months ahead in academic achievement from children who do not have that. So in this land down here where there's a lot of poverty and lower levels of education, KDT is extremely important.
Corvus' team brought home their 5th trophy in KEDT's annual Challenge Quiz competition. With KEDT's future uncertain, he hopes the South Texas tradition continues for students to come.
So I really enjoyed this experience. I love being with all my teammates, and it was really fun. I hope this goes on for a long time.
Dunlap says they're watching the situation closely.
The reality is if 100% of that funding was cut, the feasibility studies that we have run would not allow us to continue to operate.
Dunlap says PBS and NPR stations are raising awareness, hoping to rally public support for the cause. Mike, back to you.